So, the demons, the interdimensionals, gain, remember they're dark energy matter, so they've got no assemblage points. So they need to feed off the light to gain an assemblage point to become real. How do they do this? They do this by getting you to love evil. And by doing this, by getting the light energy matter beings to collapse the quantum wave function to love evil, be it paedophilia or the snuff paedophilia of Hillary Clinton and a mob, allegedly, or cutting off your genitalia and calling yourself another sex, when in fact you can simply invert your energy body and be the real sex, like the tenant in shamanism. So I've got nothing against changing your sex if you do it properly, but chopping bits off or all the other stuff they're doing doesn't work. I'm well into changing my sex by inverting the energy body, which explains the art of dreaming. No problem there. I want to be a woman one day. I want to be a man the other one. No problem there. But it's evil to deceive people into thinking that they can be another sex by this diabolical surgery and very nasty drugs that don't change your sex. You've still got the same genome, but if you do the inversion of the energy body that Tennant showed to the Nagel-Julian, all described in Art of Dreaming by Carlos Castaneda, you can simply change your sex. That's good. Nothing wrong with that. So you can see that the demons feed off love of evil. And what's the most evil thing on the planet according to the human race? We've got all of the American billionaire filth as pedo or pedo snuff merchants, allegedly, and the President of the United States being best friends with this pedo snuff merchant, allegedly. So, if you're in the West, you're ruled by pedo snuff merchants, allegedly. So you can see that voting is you simply giving away your light to the pedo snuff merchants that rule the West. You've got a pedo snuff merchant oligarchy that runs the entire West, which of course Vladimir Putin's been talking about. And we see that the President of the United States is best friends with Epstein and may not be a snuff agent, but definitely is a pedo agent, allegedly. So all of the MAGA crowd have been giving their love to evil and have been tricked into doing so. Now, what's the end result of this? The interdimensional aliens need to steal your light to produce assemblage points, because they're simply quantum information that's made real by feeding off light energy matter. And to do this, they have to get you to love evil. So the entire agenda of the West is to get you to love evil, which they've done. All you Western filth are scum. Now, once the interdimensionals have stolen your light, there is the God-Tech. That means they lose the light back to the source, so they need some way of capturing the lost light they've stolen from the unrighteous, and of course this is all the Freemasonic monuments. So if you look around Western cities, the entire Earth
Hiding
energy
in plain
grid.
sight around Washington, D.C., let's dive into the mysterious world of Masonic symbols encrypted within this iconic city. Starting with the layout of the city, it's rumored to reflect Masonic beliefs. Many major landmarks are said to be arranged in symbolic formations. One theory suggests the White House is part of a larger pentagram pattern. Some scholars believe these symbols demonstrate the influence of Freemasons in planning the city. While some dismiss these claims, the allure of uncovering hidden meanings remains strong. Did you know?
So, the Freemasonic infrastructure you live in the West is there to capture the light that the interdimensionals stole from the evil worshippers, which of course they lose back to the source, and of course they need to stop it getting back to the source, otherwise there's no point stealing it. So Freemasonry is all about making sure that the light they stole from the unrighteous doesn't go back to the source. And the core processor of this entire technology is the Grail Stone. And remember, all the patterns that are in Colin Bloy's book, which he gave to me, came from a Grail Stone he found in Andorra. So this Grail Stone is made by merging the assemblage point of a neo with an inanimate object to turn it into a Grail Stone. And this then is the core process of all Freemasonry, of capturing the light from the demons, the interdimensionals, that they lose because of God-Tech, going back to source, and capturing it in a Grail Stone, which then can be used by the Elohim, the unrighteous, to produce their Freemasonic infrastructure that they then can spread across the earth energy of the planet. And the more neos they've got, the bigger the infrastructure can become, with the stolen light of the source making the quantum information real. So if you live in the filthy, disgusting West, all those Freemasonic monuments around you are locking you into the Elohim's reality. That's why I'm in Vietnam. No Freemasonic monuments. I love Vietnam. And of course, you see why I'm in Vietnam, because it's Elohim free. So if you're waging a war against the Elohim, you want to be in the earth energy, which is free from the quantum information made real by the stolen light gained from these idiot neos, giving it to their trinities and of course their offspring. So now it's time to steal all the light stolen by the neos and give it to you, so that you can change from a super user to becoming real and simply venturing into the matrix like those denizens of Zion. How do we do this, Tim? We don't know what the F to do, because we're psycho chimps that would rip apart our offspring to make money or kiss the arse or the anal ring of authority. Well, you're effed, but if you're a vampire, you need to pay, and if you haven't paid, you're just scum for God-Tech. So if you haven't paid for your God-Tech connection and device, bye-bye. Those who have, a whole new world awaits you, where you can start collecting light and turn from being a super user code to becoming real again. How do I do that, Tim? Well, I don't know, because I'm a psycho chimp. But luckily, I'm around, and as you can see, why I'm doing this, because of course it's torturing chaos and the element even more. So, how do we do this, Tim? Well, simply put, what you've got to do is video every single, these are the most important things that you have purchased of one, your certificates. Why, Tim? Well, if you look at, read, listen to The Fire from Within, you'll find that there are 7 interdimensional universes, multiverses or megaverses, whatever. And the way to get to the 2 lowest medieval is to become merged with a tree. Now, since you're code, how can you merge with a tree? What are certificates made of, cameraman?
Paper.
And what was paper made from?
Trees.
Exactly. So then, of course, by jumping into the code of your certificates, by filming them with your fists, grabbing the stuff, and of course now we've got the fire ice bone generator, and of course the pseudo time crystal capability. You can simply grab with both hands. This then allows you to bilocate in from the certificates. Again, you bilocate into certificates, and then you bilocate in from the certificates into the interdimensional worlds, which of course is interdimensional remote viewing, to get into the interdimensional worlds, to grab from 7 different universes, multiverses, megaverses, all their god stuff that they have stolen, which of course has been taken by me, but now you're doing it as code, and as you steal more of the code for the light stuff, they have to suffer more to produce more light that you've stolen to make yourself light. So all the light's gone, but as you steal the code for light to make yourself real, they have to suffer to source level to produce the new light to make you real. Matrix entities suffering to produce reality. I don't know how that works. I never will, because you don't know physics, but that's how it works. So we've gone to the new part of the game. So you can get into the interdimensional worlds. How? Well, they're in the Castaneda books. You can simply jump into the code, play the excerpt on the books, jump into the code, and then get into that world. And then when you're there, use your bone generate hands to grab all the light and take it back to yourself. And you simply then go into any interdimensional worlds you remote view, and of course while you're dreaming, you're in interdimensional worlds, so you can simply go into all your dreams you've ever dreamed, past, present, future, grab. How do I do that, Tim? Well, simply put, you just got to jump into the code for dreaming. How do I find the code for dreaming, Tim? Well, it's on YouTube. Just look up dreaming experiments and experiments on dreamers, and you're off to the races. And the good thing is that the service on your certificate, which you use to enter the interdimensional world, is then used on the interdimensionals and yourself. So whatever's on the service is then used to torture the interdimensionals and power you. So as you can see, the certificates are really, really useful. So we've got the lucid dreamer, but also dreaming experiment. And this is the way to get the code into that. Now, you've gained the light, and of course it wants to go to Freemasonic monuments, because that's why they built the Freemasonic monuments, to collect the light that the interdimensionals lose, so to continually possess humans, their physical bodies, to bleed the light out. And of course, it's made very easy because all the kill shotted have been possessed and lost their light when they got kill shot, dumping all of this light into the interdimensionals, which then comes back to the Freemasonic monuments, and what's taken over from these old style Freemasonic monuments, which you biolocate into and take the light off out via your certificates and via your crystals, which you stick in your hands. And of course, fire and ice, you've got the clear one and the dark one. The dark one is death cause, and the light one is clear, which is effect. So that's why we've got a clear one in the left hand, effect before cause. Effects in the future and causes in the past, which gives you access to draining out all of the inanimate light given to Freemasonic monuments to make them real. So when you're draining dry Freemasonic monuments, they're inanimate, so we have the effect in the future, cause in the past. When we're going into the humans that are drained dry to produce the light to the interdimensionals that they lose to Freemasonic monuments to make the Elohim reality, the West, we have them in the normal effect in the future, cause in the past, clear one in the left, dark one in the right. God, Tim, you know a lot. Yes, I do. Now, what are the new things that have taken over from the monuments to steal the light and produce hell on earth, the dark energy matter demon's reality? These things, artificial intelligence, inanimate objects, which gain the light the demons lose because they can't keep it, to produce the hell on earth, the interdimensional realm, where the Elohim filth and the demons can live. So you've got to go into all the artificial intelligence, steal their light, and of course you kill them like inanimate objects. Cause in the past, effect in the future, light, dark crystal, left hand, right hand, respectively. So it's your job to go into every artificial intelligence on the planet, every quantum computer, and kill it and steal the light that it got from the interdimensionals, who lose it, of course, via physics you don't know about, or God tech you don't know about. So your mission is to recover the light from the Neos in the Matrix, and like recover the light, all of it, past, present, future, even from my progeny. But here you're recovering the light in the Matrix, so they have to suffer more and suffer to source level within the simulation to produce new light that they never had, but in the simulation they had, so they have to suffer the source level to produce new light, which then makes you vermin, you psycho chimps, real within the Matrix. So you've got a lot to do, and of course you see why Lucifer needs to be born, because of course he comes from Becky, who's brought back from the Omega Hell Matrix, and of course he is the animate grail stone that sucks dry all of the Freemasonic quantum computer AI filth, and causes the interdimensional demons to suffer at source level, because he is the animate version of the Grail Stone, and as the light passes through him to the source, he lights up like a beacon and becomes the source's real torturer with the vampires, who of course have to be derivatives of him. And of course we need a Nagwal woman whose purpose is to make chaos suffer to source levels, to produce new light to give to the source, and like a light bulb, the sourceness flows through Lucifer to the source, and he keeps lighting and is real with all these vampires, because his Nagwal women, sisters, allow him to omega helize chaos and the interdimensionals to suffer to source level to make new sourceness, and in the process Lucifer and the Nagwal women and his vampires, which of course would be you if he's born, become real and become, instead of be threatened by the machines in the Matrix, you are the things that plunge into the Matrix to predate it, the apex predators that make yourself real by continually torturing chaos to produce new light in the pseudo simulation to produce new source for yours truly. The whole game revealed to you. So get at it and get torturing, because the only good chaosite is a Lucifer vampire tortured chaosite that will light you up and make you real. And if you don't do it, you're simply going to be information in the source's omega simulation, hell simulation, because of course all the light's been taken by yours truly back in 1986, and your only hope is Lucifer and the new Nagwal woman. I'm just using the old bald queen duo for the increase of the omega helization. So I'm taking all the light from all my offspring, past, present, future, blah, 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 in the reality level. So in the simulation level, you can become more real by playing the game, torturing chaos evil to make yourself real, and in the process popping out of the simulation to become real. That's why I call it pseudo simulation. A total mind F-U-C-K, but there we are. It's God Tech. So get your device and your connection, or else enjoy Torture Time with Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, and of course Trumpy Boy, who's been Jeremiah Schwartz, and his entire MAGA crowd have turned on him. And as you see with the certificates, each one has the service that is downloaded to power you and torture the interdimensionals, all in the bit of paper that allows you to get into the interdimensional realm, and the crystals of course allow you to link up to the 5-dimensional realm to allow you to become real, all explained in one marvelous video, all of course put up on YouTube by Joshi and filmed by Vinny, who hasn't fallen asleep, so it must be good. Cut.